Hello there and welcome to This Week in Non-League. So we're going to start off with the managerial changes in the last week, and we're going to start off right at the end of last week, and it is up at Guiseley, who appointed their permanent new manager as the replacement for Mark Bauer, and it is the man that has been in caretaker charge, and it is Adam Lockwood. Although he didn't actually get a victory during his caretaker spell as manager, he did enough to convince the board of Guiseley that he was the man for the job. So another managerial change that happened this week in the National League was down at Braintree, who sacked their manager Jamie Day. He hasn't had a good start to the season. It was always going to be tough for him following on from the Cowleys, as they did an absolute incredible job last year with Braintree. But Jamie Day, he hasn't done enough so far this season, and he has got the sack. And not long after Jamie Day was sacked, Braintree moved quickly to appoint a new manager. It's Hakan Hayrettin. He was the assistant manager to John Still at Luton Town up until around about December last year, when they both left. And he's also had non-league management experience around about 10 years with the likes of Grays Athletic. So now on to the most notable transfers of the week, and we're going to start with Dean Cox, who has signed for Burgess Hill Town of the Isthmian League Premier Division on loan until the start of January. He is an absolutely brilliant winger. He's been in the Football League for a long time. He's a very highly rated player. He was with Leyton Orient until the end of August when he was released, and then he was signed by Crawley Town about a week into September, but unfortunately he couldn't actually play for them until the start of January because he was signed outside of the transfer window. So he had to go out on loan somewhere, and he's gone to Burgess Hill Town. What a coup that is for them. So next up is Ross Flitney, who has left Eastleigh by mutual consent. He is a really experienced goalkeeper. He's been at Eastleigh for around about 3 or 4 years as their first choice goalkeeper. However, Eastleigh have signed Ryan Clark a few weeks ago, and he's walked into that first 11 in that starting spot in goal. And Flitney's obviously not happy about it. He wants to play every week, and he's thought that his best chances of playing every week is to move somewhere else, and that's what's happened. Matt Tubbs has signed on a 1-month loan deal at Woking from Forest Green Rovers. He's a player that is sort of known for being on a pretty big wage. He was a really good player in recent years with the likes of Crawley. Was one of the big parts of why they got out of the conference about 5 or 6 years ago. Then he went to Bournemouth, and he was really good for them back when they were in League One. So he's had some really good spells. Also at AFC Wimbledon a year or two ago. He was at Eastleigh at the end of last season, then he signed for Forest Green at the start of this season. He hasn't really hit the ground running. He scored a couple of goals, but he's gone out on loan to Woking to hopefully pick up his form and then go back to Forest Green and score loads of goals, which is what Forest Green are hoping for because they pay him loads. So a few weeks ago, Andy Bishop was sacked as the player manager of Southport after a poor start to the season. He has now signed a playing contract at Hyde United. They play in the 8th tier. They've had back-to-back relegations, 3 seasons and 3 relegations. That's a poor record, and he's gone in to that club. It's a brave move from him. He's moved down the pyramid a little bit. Probably say he's regressing a bit in his career. He's had a good player manager role at a good National League side. He's now gone back to just playing part-time at Hyde United. Wrexham have taken the really experienced striker Gary Taylor-Fletcher on trial. He was with Tranmere Rovers last year. He was playing out of position last year, so wasn't particularly effective, but he's a very good footballer. He was with Leicester City until just over a year ago, so he's still a really quality player. And for Wrexham, potentially, he could be a very useful player. So that is it for this week in non-league. Unfortunately, a fairly quiet week, but if you have enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button and subscribe, as it would really help my channel out. And yeah, thanks for watching. So one of the stereotypes of non-league football clubs is that they play in really small stadiums. And while this is fairly true for most clubs, there are some really nice big stadiums in